Senator Son.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Senate will come to order. Mr. Majors, please call the roll.
Senators Aguilar, Balmer, Baumgartner, Carroll, Cook, Crowder, Donovan, Garcia, Grantham, Guzman, Heath, Hill, Hodge, Holbert, John, Johnston, Jones, Kafalis, Kerr,
For what?
Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez Jimenez, Merrifield, Neville, Newell, Roberts, Scheffel, Scott,
Excused.
Sonnenberg, Stedman, Todd, Ulibarri, Woods. Mr. President,
Here, with 34 present, 0 absent, 1 excused, we have a quorum. Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move that the reading of the journal for Thursday, March 26, be dispensed with and the journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted. The journal is approved. Committee reports.
March 25th, 2015, Committee on Judiciary. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 219 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation. March 26, 2015, Committee on Finance. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1222 be postponed indefinitely. March 26, 2015, Committee on Finance. After consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1245 be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation. March 26, 2015, Committee on Education. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 216 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation. March 26, 2015, Committee on Education. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 223 be amended as follows and as so amended before the Committee of the Whole. Favorable recommendation.
Colleagues, please welcome Senator Lou Entz back to the chambers. Senate Services.
March 27, 2015, correctly revised, House Bill 1197, correctly enrolled, Senate Bills 58, 85, and 106.
Message from the House.
March 26, 2015, Mr. President, the House has adopted and returned herewith Senate Joint Resolution 20. The House has postponed indefinitely Senate Bill 61. The bill is returned herewith.
Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 234 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning the provision for payment of the expenses of the executive, legislative, and judicial departments of the state of Colorado and of its agencies and institutions for and during the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2015, except as otherwise noted.
Senate Bill 234 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 235 by Senator Stedman and Representative Hamner concerning increasing the amount that the General Assembly may appropriate for the Child Nutrition School Lunch Protection Program in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senate Bill 235 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 236 by Senator Grantham and Representative Rankin concerning the reorganization of funds expended by the State Historical Society.
Senate Bill 236 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 237 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning calculations relating to appropriations to institutions of higher education in connection with clarifying calculations required pursuant to sections 23-18-304 and 23-18-305 Colorado Revised Statutes, and delaying performance funding calculations pursuant to section 23-1-108 Colorado Revised Statutes.
Senate Bill 237 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 238 by Senator Stedman and Representative Hamner concerning the allowable uses of monies in the general fund exempt account that are designated to benefit students attending institutions of higher education.
Senate Bill 238 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 239 by Senator Lambert and Representative Young concerning the transfer of vocational rehabilitation programs from the Department of Human Services to the Department of Labor and Employment in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senate Bill 239 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 240 by Senator Stedman and Representative Young concerning a funding formula for independent living centers in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senate Bill 240 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 241 by Senator Stedman and Representative Young concerning collaborative management of multi-agency services provided to children and families in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senate Bill 241 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 242 by Senator Grantham and Representative Young concerning an allocation in addition to the child welfare block grant to counties for the purpose of hiring new child welfare staff and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senate Bill 242 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 243 by Senator Lambert and Representative Young concerning a prohibition on the transfer of state-operated beds under the waiver for home and community-based services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Senate Bill 243 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 244 by Senator Grantham and Representative Rankin concerning the transfer of monies to offset the federal government's recoupment of mineral lease payments to the state.
Senate Bill 244 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 245 by Senator Grantham and Representative Young concerning the provision of state funding for natural hazard mapping.
Senate Bill 245 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 246 by Senator Lambert and Representative Rankin concerning modifications to accommodate certain statewide financial information technology systems in the Department of Personnel.
Senate Bill 246 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 247 by Senator Stedman and Representative Young concerning the augmentation of the scope of services of the State Drug Assistance Program administered by the Department of Public Health and Environment to authorize funding for prevention, intervention, and other services in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senate Bill 247 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 248 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning the repeal of the State Facility Security Fund.
Senate Bill 248 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 249 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a transfer from the marijuana tax cash fund to the general fund.
Senate Bill 249 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 250 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning capital-related transfers of money.
Senate Bill 250 is assigned to appropriations.
Senate Bill 251 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning the exclusion of appropriations for real property lease purchase payments from the basis of the calculation of the general fund reserve.
Senate Bill 251 is assigned to appropriations. Third reading of bills consent. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title of the bill on the third reading of bills consent calendar?
House Bill 1197 by Representative Tate and Senator John concerning limitations on indemnity obligations in public construction contracts.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate adopt the bill listed on the third reading of bills for final passage consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1197.
Is there further discussion on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Are there any no votes? With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1197 is adopted. Co-sponsors. General order, second reading of bills consent calendar. Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Lundberg will take the chair.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. The committee will come to order. The court rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, would you please read the titles to all the bills on the general orders consent, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
House Bill 1246 by Representatives Lee and Pomona, Senators Scheffel and Hill concerning the authorization of crowdfunding of interstate securities. House Bill 1256 by Representative Mitch Bush and Senator Baumgartner, concerning the reclassification of Routt County to a Category 2 county for the purpose of establishing the salaries of county officers. House Bill 1008 by Representative Hamner and Senator Roberts, concerning the classification of agricultural land when the land is destroyed by a natural cause.
Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee adopt all the bills listed on the general order's second reading of bills consent calendar, which includes House Bill 1246, House Bill 1256, and House Bill 1008.
Is there any discussion? The motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the general order's second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills on the consent calendar are adopted. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the body to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, would you please read the report?
March 27, 2015, Mr. President, your committee, the whole page report is out of consideration of the following tax bills being second read thereof makes following recommendations are on. House Bill 1246, House Bill 1256, House Bill 1008, pass the second reading in order to revise, place the counter for third reading and final passage.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the adoption of the report.
Is there further discussion on the report of the Committee of the Whole? Are there any no votes? With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. House Bill 1246, House Bill 1256, House Bill 1008 passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Consideration of resolutions. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Joint Resolution 14.
Senate Joint Resolution 14 by Senator Crowder and Representative Vigil, concerning the designation of Colorado Highway 159 as the Castilla County Veterans Memorial Highway.
Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move resolution SJR 15014, and please read the resolution at length.
Whereas the Castilla County Veterans Service Organization, notably the Castilla County Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 6101 and the American Legion Post 142, have requested the General Assembly to designate Colorado Highway 159 as the Castilla County Veterans Memorial Highway. And whereas 15% of the current population of Castilla County has veteran status, and whereas a total of 425 living Castilla County veterans have bravely fought for the freedom of the American people, and whereas 1/3 of these veterans fought in multiple wars, and whereas 266 Castilla County veterans fought in the Vietnam War, 45 fought in the Korean War, 22 fought in World War II, and 19 fought in the Gulf Wars, and whereas the General Assembly acknowledges the brave service of its veterans, and whereas the General Assembly finds that it is proper and fitting that there be a lasting memorial in Castilla County to honor the service of its military veterans. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Castilla County unanimously adopted a resolution in support of renaming the highway on October 14, 2014. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that Colorado State Highway 159, beginning at the intersection of the highway with U.S. Highway 160, then south to the New Mexico state line, be named the Castilla County Veterans Memorial Highway, that the Colorado Department of Transportation may accept and expend gifts, grants, and donations for the purpose of the initial placement of signs to mark the highway as the Castilla County Veterans Memorial Highway, and that the Colorado Department of Transportation may explore a cooperative agreement with the Board of County Commissioners of Castilla County for the maintenance of the markings for the Castilla County Veterans Memorial Highway, Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be hand-delivered by Senator Crowder to the Board of County Commissioners of Castilla County, the Castilla County Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 6101, and the American Legion Post 142.
Senator Crowder.
Thank you. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. Well, once again, we have a Veterans Day, and this is a kind of the highlight of what I do up here. I am a veterans advocate, and what we have today is a situation where we have the renaming of a Castilla County highway. 159 is totally encompassed within Castilla County, and it starts at 160 and goes south to the New Mexico line. And for those that haven't been there, this is quite a treat for me because when you go south of San Luis, it opens up. It's wide open. You have mountain ranges on both sides, a lot of sagebrush and whatnot, and it's really kind of spectacular scenery. But to drive down this highway, and the traffic is not very heavy, but to drive down this highway and see that Castilla County Memorial Highway in that serene setting is really a sight to imagine. And with your support today, I hope we can make that. What we have down in Castilla County is an amazing situation, which I'll be introducing some of them here in a few minutes. But what we have and it's somewhat common in southern Colorado, but we have a high percentage of the population who are veterans, people that stood up for their country, and people that fought for the freedoms in which we enjoy today. So, I'm very, very appreciative of the gentleman from Castilla County and the ladies, because there are ladies involved also. But it's, I do believe that the people that you will meet today are some of the area's finest, and it's just quite a treat. And with that said, I'd like to, you want somebody else to speak? Well, I'll give this chance for other people to speak at this, but then I'll come back and introduce you to them individually. Thank you.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank the Senator for bringing forth this resolution. Southern Colorado, as you may know, has a long tradition of veterans service. I am a member of the VFW also, and I really applaud the work of the Veterans of Foreign Wars to maintain that heritage across the nation, but especially in our state of Colorado and the long heritage we've had in southern Colorado. So thank you for putting this together.
Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too want to thank the great senator from Senate District 35 for bringing this resolution forward. As a lifelong member of the VFW Post and also a member of American Legion, Pueblo is known for the home of the heroes, and we, as the senator from Senate District 35 indicated, that many from southern Colorado have stepped up to answer our nation's call, and I proudly support this resolution and recognize that the work that our people have done for this great nation.
Senator Martinez-Humenic.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise in support of this resolution, and I just want to say thank you. I had a family member who did not come back from Vietnam, and I know that war affects all of us in some way. And Colorado has a lot of people who were very, very courageous and stepped up to serve. So appreciate it, and I do believe that this is the right thing to do.
Is there further discussion? Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to some of these people, if I could.
Senator Crowder, let's adopt your resolution.
Okay.
We
Mr.
will
President,
have a
I move to adopt the
moment
resolution.
where we could do
I move
that.
to adopt the resolution.
Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes? With 34 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Joint Resolution 14 is adopted. Senator Crowder.
I request the current roll call be added as sponsors.
Without objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Senator Crowder,
Thank you.
I would like to
Now
grant you a
I'd
moment
like-
of personal privilege to introduce our guests.
Mr. President, moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce some great heroes. First of all, there's Lawrence Pacheco, Castilla County Commissioner. If you'd please rise, Mr. Pacheco. Joe Gallegos, Castilla County Commissioner. Dr. Rudy Arguello, VFW National Committee Member. Joe Ortiz, VFW Post Commander. Antonio Reed, VFW Post Quartermaster. Jose Romero, VFW Post Senior Vice Commander. Dave Brown, VFW Post Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, some of our heroes. Please help me. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Crowder. We're going to take a short recess so we can greet our guests. The Senate will come back to order. Somebody ordered flowers. Senator Woods for an explanation. Announcements. Senator Woods. Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, it is always a special opportunity to introduce constituents and guests here on the floor. Would you please welcome Alexandra, Tori, and Vanessa Stapleton and their friend Carissy Shelpick. They're here in the corner.
That will be $3. Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would point out that Alexandra has spent the past few months meeting with our treasurer in Douglas County, my wife, Diane, in learning about politics and party operations. And Alexandra has started the Republican Club at Thunder Ridge High School in Douglas County.
That'll be $2 more. Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's not my birthday. It's not my anniversary. They're not from my husband.
Executive session. Executive session.
They are from the cosmetology students on the Sunset Bill.
I'm not sure the Constitution protects you from a 41 violation. Announcements. Senator Grantham.
Grantham, thank you, Mr. President. We are.
Did somebody say sine die?
Yes. So moved. Colleagues, Appropriation Committee members, we will have Appropriations Committee on Monday at noon, and that will be up in 356. We will have a whole lot of bills on our docket. We have the long bill itself, Senate Bill 234, which Senator Lambert will talk about here shortly. We also have the entire orbital package to go with it. That's 17 bills. All of these will be committee of reference. So we will be having public testimony on all 18 of those, including the long bill. There's also two other non-JBC bills there that are will be on your calendar. Senate Bill 204, which is probably already on your cabinets there, and also a yet to be introduced bill regarding the severance tax transfer bill. So Senate Bill 204, long bill 234, the orbital package 235 through 251, and also a severance tax transfer bill. So we have a lot of work to do at noon on Monday, but we should be able to get through it handily. So see you there.
The senator failed to mention the most important part of the Appropriations Committee meeting at noon on Monday. Lunch will be served to the Appropriations Committee. Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. President. And members, on your desks, you've got two big packages. The one with the ring in it is too big for me to lift to carry over here. But you know, you put that under your desk or something like that. You might be able to use it as a footstool or something if you're a little short and want to stand up at the mic. But other than that, thank you, Senator. Other than that, the text that you want to look at is, of course, in the long bill narrative. I'd also draw your attention page 223 and 224 of that, because that has the long bill package bills and the bills that we've included for budget balancing. So a lot of these will be up in approps. If you're on the Appropriations Committee, they'll be up on noon. Again, on Monday, this has all the explanation of those bills, because some of them are appropriations, you know, that may not have a lot of other supporting text to them, but you want to look at the explanation, the lineup, the short narrative here in the back of the long bill narrative book. If you have any questions about the long bill, again, Senator Stedman, Senator Grantham and I would be glad to answer any questions you have as we go forward. Again, for the schedule, appropriations on Monday. We're planning to meet with your caucuses on Tuesday, have second reading on Wednesday, third reading on Thursday, and hopefully, if we get all that done, the day off on Good Friday. Thank you very much.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, these are good bills. Vote yes.
We're on announcements. Further announcements. Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to challenge everyone, if you have a little extra time tomorrow, to meet several of us up at the Loveland Ski Area about 9 a.m. There is a sponsored scavenger hunt, and not having done it before, I'm not sure exactly what it entails, but it will entail looking for clues all over the mountain. Should be a beautiful day to be enjoying one of Colorado's great tourist attractions. And we do have a challenge going against the other chamber. I think we're winning because I just got a text from a representative over there that they're all too busy to put a team together and challenge us. So I think we're already winning, but we do want to show up and actually make sure of that. So if anyone is interested in doing that, let me know and I'll give you all the details. Thank you.
Further announcements. Mr. Majority Leader. After committee reports.
March 26, 2015, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 228 be amended as follows, now so amended before the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. March 26, 2015, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following: Senate Bill 196 be amended as follows, now so amended before the Committee on Finance with favorable recommendation. March 26, 2015, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee recommends the following: House Bill 1166 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. March 26, 2015, Mr. President, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy is under consideration as at a hearing on the following appointments, recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Water Conservation Board for a term expiring February 12, 2016. John Hawkins McLeod of Gunnison, Colorado, to serve as representative of the Gunnison and Uncompahgre Drainage Basin and as an unaffiliated reappointed for term expiring February 12, 2018. Phyllis Diane Hopp of Broomfield, Colorado, serve as representative of the South Platte Drainage Basin and as a Republican reappointed. David H. Ty Wattenberg of Walden, Colorado, serve as representative of the North Platte Drainage Basin and as a Republican reappointed. March 26, 2015, Mr. President, the Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy is under consideration as at hearing on the following appointments and recommends the appointments be placed on the consent calendar and confirmed. Members of the Colorado Wildlife Habitat Stamp Committee for a term expiring December 31, 2018. Timothy Brass of Longmont, Colorado, serves as representative of the public at large appointed effective December 31, 2014 for a term expiring December 31, 2018. Daniel C. Gates of Canyon City, Colorado, a sports person appointed.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we get ready to come short of closing out our day here, I'm happy to report that clicker use has been significant, consistent, and all clickers appear to be working well. Is your clicker working, Mr. President?
We will not question.
The President's clicker is working. Colleagues, just a reminder, we spoke of it briefly yesterday. The photographer is here in the chamber and ready to accept our payments for the photographs that we have ordered. If you haven't yet ordered one, it's not too late. You can do so on this piece, on the purple piece of paper. Give that back to Cindy. And photographer will be here for about an hour or so, as long as we need him, but he would love to confirm your order and receive payment today. We are going to leave the desk over. We're waiting for a couple of things to read over. You do not need to return. Mr. President, move that the Senate recess to 10 a.m. this morning.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The Senate will recess until 10 a.m.